Here are 3 facts about solar power. Number 1, the sun delivers enough energy in 1 hour to the earth that meets global energy demands for an entire year. Number 2, a home solar power system can eliminate or greatly reduce your electric bill. And number 3, there are federal and state tax incentives to owning a home solar power system. Solar energy is a viable, financially savvy alternative energy source. For those of you that may already know a lot about solar energy, I'm going to expand your knowledge of it and the financial incentives associated with it. And for those of you this may be the first time you're hearing about solar energy, I plan to give you a foundational knowledge of it and of the financial incentives associated with it. I have 15 years of practical experience working with solar during my time in the U.S. Coast Guard. Additionally, I have 2 family members that utilize solar power for their homes, one in a completely off-grid system and another that uses it as an alternative energy source in a home that's connected to the power grid. Through research and study, I've obtained my knowledge of solar power. So we're going to cover 3 main points. Number 1, how is solar energy produced? Number 2, how can we use solar in our home? And number 3, net metering and its financial incentives. Let's get right into it with point number 1. How does it work? How does solar power work? Eric Smith and Philip Schmidt wrote a book called DIY Solar Projects that explains solar panels are made up of various materials including silicon. Silicon is a semiconductive material that can conduct electricity. Sunlight is absorbed and there's an electron exchange that takes place which generates electricity. As demonstrated, the sun's energy in the form of positively charged photons is absorbed by the solar panel containing the silicon, which has negatively charged electrons. And when the two interact, it creates an electrical current. And that's basically how solar panels create an electricity. So for our next point, how can we use this in our homes to generate electricity? In a book called A Surge in Solar Powered Homes, the solar panel, also called a photovoltaic module, is the heart of the system. It's mounted on your roof and angled in such a way that it can collect maximum sunlight throughout the day and converts that sunlight into electricity. That electricity is then run through wires through various components of a home solar power system. So what are these components? Let's get into it. The solar panel is the heart of the system. Collects the sun's rays, creates electricity, which is run through a charge controller. The charge controller has 2 jobs. 1, to prevent the batteries from becoming overcharged, and 2, to prevent the batteries from being undercharged, both which will damage the batteries. Direct current is stored in the batteries for use in the system. The direct current then runs through what's called an inverter that changes the direct current of electricity into alternating current, which is what we use in our homes. An additional component, which we'll talk about in just a minute, is called a net meter. And a net meter allows electricity to flow to a power grid and back from a power grid into the home. So, as I described, the electricity generated by the solar panel is in the form of direct current. It needs to be changed into alternating current because homes in the U.S. run on 120 volts of alternating current, with some larger appliances such as your dryer, a deep freezer, or an air conditioner requiring 220 volts of alternating current. This alternating current that we use is the same type of current that we would get from a public utility grid. All right, point number 3. Let's talk about saving some money. How can we save money? That's going to be through what's called net metering. And in Andy Walker's book, he describes net metering as a utility policy that allows a homeowner to deliver electricity back to the power grid. So if you make excess electricity, you can put it back into the grid and receive a credit from the electric company, which will offset the cost of the power that you draw from the grid back into your home. This would be used in conditions where you create too much electricity, you pump it back into the grid, and if you don't have enough electricity from your solar system, then you can draw from the grid back into your home and power your home like normal. So the offset between the two is how your monthly electric bill is calculated, and the credits you receive offset the cost of the electricity that you get from the public utility power grid. This can eliminate or significantly reduce your power bill. Additionally, there are tax incentives. The federal government offers the Clean Energy Credit, which is a 30% tax deduction. The state of Idaho has the Residential Alternative Energy Tax Deduction, which is 40% in the first year and will carry on for an additional 3 years at 20% for each year. So let's revisit what we've learned. Number 1, how is solar energy produced? Number 2, how can we use solar energy in a home system? In number 3, we talked about net metering and the financial incentives. Remember the 3 facts that we talked about at the beginning. Number 1, the sun delivers enough energy in 1 hour to the earth to meet global energy demands for an entire year. Number 2, home solar can reduce or eliminate your electric bill. And the federal and state tax incentives are available for those that use home solar. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Thomas Edison, who many consider the father of innovation, the man who delivered us the first practical light bulb and built the first central power station to distribute electricity. Here's what Thomas Edison had to say about solar power over 100 years ago.